If you're watching this video, just know, your mental health matters, your life matters, and of course, you matter. I, BC King, care about you. Welcome back to Gaming Hot Takes, a series where I read your hottest takes about various video games. In today's video, I'm reading your hottest takes about Super Smash Bros. 64. Now, I have played every Smash game, but this one is one I have the least experience with, so I can't touch probably too much on certain things, but I did play a good amount of it when it, a couple years ago, so I think I have enough knowledge to do a hot takes video of this, and I'll do one for the other ones as well, so stay tuned for those. But with that said, let us go ahead and get started with your hot takes. Wait a minute, hold on. Before we start, I gotta give a very special shout out to my sponsor for this video, Fluffle. If you adore anime plushies, graduation plushies, and more, then this website is for you. Use the code BCKing15 to save 15% on your first purchase. And use the link that is in the description. And come on, who wouldn't want one of these things? These things are amazing. Go get yourself a plushie because they're amazing. With that said, now let's get into the video. I know Jigglypuff was popular because of the anime, but I always felt like she did not really deserve her spot here. To be fair, people don't like Jigglypuff nowadays because of her horrible Final Smash, but and she's kind of a Kirby clone in some ways with the whole floating thing, but I think she did deserve it. I mean, she is a very popular Pokemon. There are better ones, obviously, like Mewtwo and Charizard and Greninja and Pikachu. But, I was always fine with it. Like, I do think she's my least favorite of the Pokemon cast in Smash Brothers. But, literally, the only part I ever hated about her was her Final Smash, starting in Brawl, because they didn't change it at all, up until Ultimate, and, it just sucks. And, yeah, it's a really bad Final Smash. But she plays good. I enjoy playing as Jigglypuff. I don't think she's the worst character in the game. But she is my least favorite Pokemon character in Smash, I would say. But honestly, yeah, there are better choices that they could have gone with for a Gen 1 or 2 Pokemon at that time. But I thought it was fine. You know, she's popular, and I mean, you know, some people like her. I still like her enough, but I can see why people maybe aren't that fond of Jigglypuff. A huge portion of people never would have given a shit about Earthbound had Ness not been in this game. Here's the thing, Ness is not the only character or series that people would have not given a shit about if it wasn't for Smash. You can say that about Fire Emblem, Pikmin perhaps, even Xenoblade to an extent with Shulk. Even the third-party characters that were like DLC, like Bayonetta and Ryu and who else? Terry from Fatal Fury? Like, I didn't know what Fatal Fury was at all until Terry got revealed for Smash Bros. And I'm like, oh, what the hell is Fatal Fury? Oh, it's another fighting game. Okay, that makes sense. I guess Sora as well with Kingdom Hearts. So, I do feel like Ness is far from the only character or series that people, you know, wouldn't have really cared about that much if not for Smash, because that's been across the entire series in my opinion. You know, Melee, of course, with Fire Emblem, Brawl with, I guess, Metal Gear, and, Pikmin, Smash 4 with, like, Xenoblade and such, and Wii Fit, of all things. But yeah, I mean, this has been a thing throughout the whole entire series, so, like, you know, there's so many characters in the series that I think I, for sure, would not have even, like, looked up or cared about if not for Smash Bros. So I think Earthbound is for sure not the only culprit, but it is maybe one of the biggest culprits. I think Earthbound was, wasn't it going to be like it wasn't going to happen until like after that Smash Bros. Game came out? I don't remember, but I know Fire Emblem got like, you know, a huge boost because of Smash Bros. Like that series was going to die until Smash Bros. Came out, but or Smash Melee I should say, but yeah, I get your point here. I do agree with it, but again, there are lots of other characters in series that people wouldn't have cared about if they were not included as a character or even a stage or whatever in Smash Bros. Most fun character unlock mechanism of the entire series. I want them to revive that style for the next game. So I agree it is kind of cool, but personally, my favorite is probably Smash Ultimate because there's like 3 different ways to unlock characters. Like you got World of Light, you got just playing versus matches, and you got, I think, Classic mode. So, I do agree that the way they did it in Smash 4 and the other games is definitely cool in their own ways, but my favorite's probably Ultimate just because I like having, like, you know, more than one way to unlock a certain character, but, to To be fair, the unlock mechanism in Smash 64 was like a new thing for them, so they were trying to like see how they wanted it to be, and then in my opinion, they got better and better with each Smash game. But yeah, Ultimate definitely has the best in my opinion with the different paths to take to unlock them, but this one is also pretty good. It is still my favorite in the series because of its simplicity and charm. It became more and more bloated with each sequel. It is an example of less being more to me. I see what you're saying. I mean, Ultimate is such a big package. There's like a lot of characters, a lot of stages, a lot of content, and that always isn't gonna, that isn't always gonna be for everybody. Like, people do like having less to do in games to not feel, I guess, overwhelmed. Like, I was fine with it. I spent like a long time on Ultimate and I enjoyed every second of it. But yeah, I do feel like some people like less content to do because, like, you know, if you're someone who likes playing multiple games, like, you don't want to be stuck on that one game for forever, right? So maybe Ultimate was a bit too overbearing for some people. For me, it wasn't. But yeah, I can see that because, again, every Smash game got bigger and bigger, right? Like, 64 was good, then Melee got bigger, then Brawl, then Smash 4, and then obviously Ultimate, as we mentioned. But you know, there are rumors apparently that the next Smash game might be toning down a bit in terms of its overall package, which I am not that excited for. I've mentioned that I would love them to just port over Ultimate and keep adding to it, because I don't want to have, like, all those characters and such be deleted. So, we'll see, but I get what you're saying here. Some people do like less is more, so if you're someone who is like that, then I can see why this one might still be your favorite Smash game of all time. Sector Z was better than the Corneria we've been stuck with ever since, aesthetically and for size. You know, I actually agree with this. I like Corneria, but they've really scaled it down since, like, I think Melee or Brawl. Like, it feels, for some reason, so much smaller than it used to be. And yeah, Sector Z was like this giant, massive shit that felt really big in size. And then Corneria, like, it's cool. The background in Ultimate is fantastic, but, like, they really just made it feel like a much smaller stage to brawl on. And I gotta say, I agree. I have liked Corneria less and less ever since, like, Melee or Brawl. Like, Ultimates is not bad in any way, but, like, I would put Sector Z far above Corneria in terms of the aesthetic, the size, how fun it is just to fight on. Like, the background may not be as, you know, visually pleasing as Ultimates, but just the stage itself, I'd agree. I think Sector Z is better overall than modern-day Corneria, so, yeah, I definitely agree here. It has aged better than Melee. Melee outside of competitive is a mess due to it being rushed in development. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, yeah, Melee had a pretty short cycle. It was like, what, less than a year or something after 64, but it was still a fantastic game, as you can probably tell if you've played it like I have. But I don't know. I would not say 64 has aged better than Melee. Like, 64 for me is my least favorite because of it just feels a bit janky to play. Like, yeah, it's the first game of the series, so it's to be expected, but like if I was to play every Smash game for like a couple hours at a time, like, I'd probably spend the least amount of time with Smash 64 because of you know, just the general gameplay. But honestly, I feel like Melee might be the best 8 Smash game, even more than Ultimate in my opinion. Like, Melee's gameplay, the quick and fast-paced nature, just the general gameplay feels so smooth even like 20-25 years later. So yeah, I don't agree with that. Like, 64 has aged kinda good, I guess, but not better than Melee. No way. I feel like Melee to me is still the best 8 Smash game. Stop! Now she'll die a virgin. Stop! Stop it! Okay. Stop. Okay.
Stay the fuck in the fucking car!
Oh, fuck! That was a sneak peek of all the content that you might be missing out on by not becoming a YouTube member. When you're a YouTube member, you get so much bonus content such as all my anime watch-throughs, classic content like old Twitch streams, movie watch-alongs, and more. So what are you waiting for? Hit the join button down below, pick the tier you want, and enjoy all the benefits that come with your YouTube membership. If you're already a member, thank you for your support, enjoy your benefits, and now let's get back into the video. It transformed a generation of casual N64 players into hardcore Nintendo fanboys. Prior to Super Smash Bros., few casual gamers knew about Ness or Captain Falcon. Even Kirby and Samus were not household names beforehand. Really good point there. We mentioned Ness earlier in Earthbound, and yeah, even Captain Falcon, and Kirby and Samus too, because Smash 64 was what, 1999, I believe? And Samus only had like, what, 2 or 3 games at that point? Kirby had probably a couple, but yeah, they weren't like the big stars like Mario and I think even Zelda were at that point. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that Smash Bros. Like helped them that much. I feel like they had plans to probably push Kirby and Samus especially as like one of their, like 2 of their biggest franchises, even regardless of Smash. But yeah, I mean, I think it did help them a little bit because, again, I feel like a lot of people in every Smash game has had some characters that they, like, saw for the first time, like, in their series through Smash Bros. So, yeah, Ness, Captain Falcon, absolutely. Kirby and Samus, I guess, too. Even maybe Mario and Zelda, who knows? Even, like, the more established characters might have gotten a lot more eyes because of Smash Bros. So, you know, that's the beauty of it. Smash Bros. Helps not only people, like, you know, play as these awesome, like, characters from, like, first and third party, but it lets, these people experience new series and people for the first time, like Final Fantasy when that came out on Smash 4. So, yeah, pretty good points here. The art style was better than Melee, which has some uncanny looking models and textures. 64 just feels like Nintendo. So similar to the aging question earlier, I'm not sure if I agree with that. Like, Melee's is not the best, obviously, because it's on GameCube, which is such a retro console these days. But honestly, like, the art style on 64 was good, but like Melee is so much better. Like the models are better, the backgrounds are better, the overall gameplay we mentioned is more smooth and crisp. So I don't know if Melee's ever had any uncanny looking textures or models. Obviously the other like the ones after that, the other Smash games are obviously better because of the better hardware, but Melee to me still holds up. I own Melee physically on my GameCube. I still own it. If I can pull it up right now and show you, like, it would still look good. Like, you know, even though it's such an old game, like, I think it's aged pretty well, as you mentioned earlier. So, yeah, I wouldn't say Melee has anything uncanny about it. Like, could it be better? Obviously, maybe there'll be, like, a remake of Melee in the future in, like, 20 years or so, but, for what it is, it's a pretty good art style, so I wouldn't say it's worse than 64. Board the Platforms is better than Target Test. I agree. I like Target Test. It's fun. Before Smash Brawl kind of made it feel less cool. But Melee had obviously the Target Test where like every stage was for a certain character to like help you learn their moveset, which is awesome. But Board the Platforms, man, I adore Board the Platforms. Like I was so hoping that Ultimate would bring back like almost every single-player game mode, like not just story mode and home run contest, but like Board the Platforms, Target Test. I don't know. I guess they couldn't do every single mode for whatever reason, but like I would have loved Board the Platforms to come back. Maybe it'll be back in the next Smash game. Who knows? But yeah, you won't hear any argument from me here. I think Board the Platforms is for sure way better than Target Test, even though Target Test is still a good mode. I like Board the Platforms a little bit better. Smash 64 to me is definitely the weakest in the series, but it's not saying it's bad, although I wish Classic Mode was fun after playing it twice. Melee really nailed Classic Mode, and then it was tinkered with again until it turned into what we got in Ultimate, which I think is fine. So I think Ultimate for sure has the best Classic Mode of like any Smash game. The fact that every single Classic Mode route is based on that character's like universe, like you got Ryu doing like only stamina battles, you got Sephiroth doing a fucking boss gauntlet, you got Dr. Mario fighting like red, yellow, and blue characters similar to him fighting the pills in Dr. Mario. It's fantastic, but I think 64 is you know, the mode is fine. It's like it's called one player mode, right? 1P mode, that's their classic mode. So honestly though, I would say it's still better than what we got in Smash Wii U, because that one was like not good. I did not like that classic mode of Smash Bros. Wii U. Brawl was kind of weak as well, but not bad. So yeah, I would say 64 is like, if we're ranking classic mode, I'd probably rank 64 like maybe mid to low tier, but definitely better than Smash Wii U and maybe even Smash Brawl. But on an overall sense, it is still the weakest in the series for me. I agree. I still like the game, but when you compare every single Smash game in terms of gameplay, content, characters, and just overall feel, like, this one definitely does feel the weakest, but again, it's the first game in the series, you can't really judge it that much, but yeah, I agree. It to me is the weakest Smash Bros. Oh man, trying to unlock Ness. That was my first foray into game-induced rage. I'll never forget throwing a full bowl of salsa across the room and immediately regretting it as I felt the bowl leave my fingers. Well, first of all, sorry for your loss of your bowl of salsa. That probably damaged a lot of your surroundings with, like, the fucking salsa. But anyway, yeah, I had to pull it up real quick because I forgot what it was, but to unlock Ness in Smash 64, you have to beat the one-player game on normal difficulty with only 3 lives and no continues. Which, honestly, doesn't sound that hard, but the pressure of not losing any lives and only having 3 of them compared to, like, 5, you know, it could be harder. But it's still hard for what it is, I feel like. But, yeah, I don't know. My memories of unlocking people in 64 are kind of foggy these days, but I do remember that one. And that one, to me, gave me not that much trouble, but, like, it was still kind of challenging. But, yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot of harder ways to unlock other characters in other Smash Bros. Games, but this one probably would kind of be up there. Because again, just the pressure of not fucking up in classic mode when you got like this gauntlet you have to go through and you only have 3 lives to do it and you can't use any continues, like, that is pretty stressful. But I wouldn't say it's the worst, but I can feel your rage through the screen. I can feel how that bowl of salsa felt when you threw it across the room. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from here. Genuinely holds up today. I grew up with 64 and Melee and Brawl equally, and I just find 64 to be the most fun to go back to. Sure, it's the least content heavy in the series, but I adore how it feels. Also, the hit stun in this game is great because it lends to more combos in my opinion. Man, a lot of you are really defending 64 as, like, the most fun to go back to, or like the best one in the series, and I disagree. It's the worst in the series in my opinion, but it's not a bad game. I just feel like if I compare it to every other Smash game, it falls the shortest for me. But, yeah, there are things to like about it. Like, you know, people mention less is more. They like having less content to go through, and that's probably the reason why they like Smash 64 so much. The hit stun you mentioned, another good reason. But yeah, I can't really find enough reason to agree that 64 is, like, above the other Smash games. Like, it's not a bad game, as I mentioned, but it's just, even though the content is less and people prefer lesser packages in some cases, the overall experience to me just didn't feel the same with, like, Melee and Brawl and Smash 4 and Ultimate. Like, it's just, going through it didn't give me that same satisfaction that I got from the other Smash games. But it's still a great game, still iconic. People, as you can see in the video today, still love it to death. So, you know, to each their own. Like, I disagree that it's the best Smash game. It's the worst in my opinion, but if you think it's the best, then I guess that's your opinion. Alright folks, that is it for your Super Smash Bros. 64 hot takes. And I'm sure, as always, that some of you watching this right now have a hot take for a future game coming up, so if you guys want to spit your own hot takes, make sure you guys are following the BC King Gaming Hot Takes Reddit page. Link is right here, or in the pinned comments. Make sure you guys go check that out. But in the meantime, make sure you guys subscribe, ring the bell, and smash that like button for more hot takes to come in the future. And I will see you guys, as always, in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.